Thank you. Can a fool realize his enlightenment?
Thank you. Can a form realize...
A fool.
A fool?
Silly person.
Oh, thank you. Wonderful question. There are some wonderful images. Fool is a very ancient mythological figure. The tarot card of the fool and so on. Now, by fool, let's say we mean someone whose mental capacities are undeveloped. I would say somebody who is not trapped in the usual structures of compulsive thinking, not because he or she has transcended compulsive thinking, but has not arrived at compulsive thinking. And in that sense, that human being is already enlightened because he is not, it's not the enlightenment that we are addressing here, but that state of not yet being trapped in thought has many similarities with the enlightened state. One could say he doesn't need enlightenment because in his own way he already is enlightened. In modern contemporary mythology, which is films, there's a beautiful example of that in the figure of Forrest Gump, the film. Somebody whose mental capacities are undeveloped, but who lives in many ways just like an enlightened person would live. First of all, he doesn't have an ego. Everything he needs naturally comes to him. His life unfolds naturally, he doesn't struggle for anything. Everything comes at the right moment. And he even does great things, but never says, I did that, because the I hasn't arisen yet. He has to go to Vietnam, and even there wherever he goes, he is a force for good. Even when he has to go to the war in Vietnam, he saves many people, and he's a great hero. And he doesn't look at himself as a great hero because he doesn't have a mental image of myself having done that. He just explains that's what happened. I did that, and so what? And so, in many ways, he is already enlightened, and you can say he doesn't need enlightenment because he is already there. For us, we can't go back there. He doesn't really need to go through thinking. He's fine. It seems to be the destiny of some humans to be connected, and there may be a few remaining civilizations, remnants of ancient civilizations, where humans live in oneness with nature and oneness with each other, and they don't need the Buddha. They already, just as an animal, there are some dogs or cats that I sometimes meet. In some cases they have suffered a lot, or they are very old, and they reached the enlightenment of the dog or cat being. The old cat who cannot be bothered anymore with catching birds, because the cat knows it's pointless anyway, they're too old, and so they go around and they're just completely there. And the old dog, there are beings who seem to have completely fulfilled the purpose of their existence in that form, and have found the connectedness with the formless within. The form has fulfilled its purpose, and the connectedness is there. It is not our destiny to return. We have been or are, or most of us halfway, stuck in the human mind. So there's no way of going back. We cannot become fools again. And yet, when you go beyond thinking, from the point of view of mind, it often appears that you no longer know anything. So in that way, we also become fools from the point of view of conceptual thought. And there are many similarities with the way that an enlightened person lives who has transcended thought, means is no longer trapped in thinking, to somebody who has not yet gone through the evolutionary stage of being trapped in thinking. Didn't have to. For some reason, consciousness flowered there, through that form. And that's beautiful. For us, it's transcending thought and then becoming a fool again. Yes, one could say, and yet we don't become Forrest Gump. There is a knowing that comes when you have transcended thought. There is an awareness that wasn't there before in the natural state. It's a regaining of the natural state, but the regaining of the natural state that also all ancient civilizations speak of, the myth of the golden age that exists in India, in almost every civilization. You have the myth that there was a time when humans lived in peace and happily. The world was a kind of paradise. You have the same myth expressed in the beginning of the Bible. So there's an ancient truth there. There's a natural state that humans lost. Those humans who didn't lose it they are fine. But it is the destiny, the evolutionary destiny of consciousness is for humans to lose it and then to regain it. And that's where we are. And so, in some ways, you will look to humans who are still trapped in thinking when you live aligned with the present moment, don't compulsively label things, are no longer a walking story. You become quite simple. The need to be special falls away. You become very ordinary, because you don't need to project a sense of specialness anymore and attempt to find your identity in there, because you are in touch with the preciousness that is the essence of you are. So you don't need to seek a specialness in form anymore. So what a freedom that comes to us now of not needing to be special anymore to get some sense of who you are, to become ordinary. You have that beautifully expressed in the Taoist sages. The whole Tao Te Ching, the Chinese Book of Wisdom, is all an expression of ordinariness, to be ordinary, not to project yourself and needing to be someone, but happy to be no one. And that looks quite foolish from the point of view of our civilization. And people may look upon you as nobody, and that's wonderful. The only regret, it's not really a regret, I have about the power of now that became so well known, and with it the being that gave it birth, no more, just is the projection of specialness, whereas there was such beauty in being totally ordinary, and nobody doubted that I was ordinary. Well, a few people said, "Oh, you must go and see him. He's so ordinary." Just to live with the present moment, see nothing could be more ordinary than just to live aligned with whatever is here now. That's all you ever have to do. It's pretty ordinary. Just this. The famous Zen saying, chopping wood, carrying water. It's expressed in that. It's a very profound Zen saying. This is meant to encapsulate the whole of Zen existence. Chopping wood, carrying water. Two of the most ordinary activities at that time when people did that. In our case, it will be something else. Most people, don't chop wood. Well, perhaps here some people still do. It is beautiful to be just that. Whatever you happen to be doing at this moment, there's no more than this moment, chopping wood. Carrying water. Just that. Peace. Aliveness. No interference of mind that says, how many more weeks or years do I have to chop this wood? If I don't do something now, I'll still be stuck here in 10 years' time chopping wood.